30 hours.
Live from the studio, I'm Jimmy Selesky.
Merrick Glazer.
And tonight we got a couple dudes we just met. We got Jizzle, right? Jizzle. And Blow from Chase a Plate. Before we get going, because this is going to help me and this is going to help all the listeners as well, you guys, I guess, introduce not just yourselves, but I guess start off with yourselves and just who you are and exactly what Chase a Plate is about. Because you guys hit me up on Instagram. And I saw you guys were from Baltimore. You hit me up under the Instagram name Stock Market Wolves. I don't know who that was that hit me up, but I was like, yo. And then you were like, yo, but follow this Instagram page. I was like, all right, which one are they promoting? Is Stock Market Wolves one of your guys' personal pages, or what is?
It's one of our friends that's in the group, the personal page.
Okay, cool. So how many people are involved with the Chase a Plate thing?
It's 6 of us in total.
And what is that exactly?
Chase a Plate?
Yeah.
So we basically we a clothing brand, also entertainment. We got entertainment too. We do YouTube and we got some other things coming up soon. And basically in the long term goal, we want to inspire people to chase their dreams, chase their goals regardless of the obstacles. You know, Baltimore got a lot of talent for real. But
yeah, I agree. So would you guys consider yourself, I guess, like a talent? I don't know what the best way to put it. Like, do you guys like build artists and just anybody who does anything they're trying to do? Like,
yeah, any business. You got your own business. We want to support. We want to use the platform of YouTube and other platforms to promote other people. So
nice.
And we just want to inspire.
And you guys are both out of, I guess you said West Baltimore area?
Yeah.
Cool. And I saw you guys were trying to get into the podcast domain, because that was whoever was hitting me up was like, yo, we're trying to think about doing a podcast and stuff like that. And you asked me a couple questions. What is the podcast about? Kind of the same deal, I guess?
Yeah, for sure.
That's dope, dude. That's really cool.
Oh, yeah. Is that a Chase a Plate shirt you got on?
Yeah, it's a Chase a Plate shirt. We got
two shirts too.
Yeah,
oh,
two
shit.
for y'all.
Yo.
Yeah, we got a couple different versions.
Yeah.
That's sick.
Folks, for the audio listeners, we got some dope ass shirts. We got a logo. All this guy sees is money right here. We got his eyes lit up.
Yeah,
Can't wait to rock this shit. And he's chasing a plate. And on his plate is more fucking money, baby. Let's
that
fucking
money, that
go.
guac, that cheese. Yeah.
Hell yeah, dude. So how did you guys meet? How long have you guys known each other?
We went to high school together.
Yeah.
Where'd you guys go?
City.
Yeah, shit.
City, okay. Dope. Put that more.
Old school.
Yeah,
All right.
dope. So you guys met at City, and you guys are young too, right? So
Yeah.
like 21, 22.
Yeah, I'm 18.
Yeah, I'm 21.
Oh, okay, damn. I'm fucking over here serving underage liquor and shit. Oh, shit, man.
Don't worry, I'm the driver. We gonna be good.
So what's your plan in terms of like, because you guys are obviously starting out very grassroots. So what's your way of building yourself? You said mentioned starting out off of YouTube, I guess, trying to just put out like comedy content or just talking about random stuff on YouTube, or what is your plan to like build your brand?
So on YouTube, we take topics that's popping, like topics that's trending. You feel me? Then we give our view on it. It's a comedic side, but also serious too. Just being ourselves on that, and we gonna keep supporting other people. People support us. Just market, just network, and yeah, you feel me?
Hell yeah.
Dope.
Pretty much.
And I guess like Instagram Live and shit's like a big thing too. You guys were talking about like the Carter 5 review you guys were doing.
Yeah, we
so
do.
basically, like, we trying to use social media platform to like push a lot of things, because a lot of people get on Instagram like for showing off purposes, but we really trying to use it like as a platform to help other people be seen and to help us be seen.
I agree with that, man. I think that's so, because before the podcast we were talking, we were saying like, Baltimore has a lot of talent. But I think one of the things that Baltimore's been missing for the longest time is somebody to kind of like bring it all together. It seems like a lot of people, even like the West-East divide. Do you guys feel any of that? Because I know you guys are from over West. Do you feel any of that, like people over East fuck with you guys, or is there anything like that?
Well, yeah, I mean, pretty much. We get love from around the city. Like, everybody, like, they fucking with us, we fucking with them pretty much. So, like, it's not even a territorial thing so much. I know with Baltimore, like, even when you used to go to like parties at the clubs and stuff, they had a East side, West side. Like I get the division part, but not with us. No, we not divided. We should actually trying to unite it and cut the east side, west side,
Yeah.
south side. We just Baltimore.
Most
Hell
definitely.
yeah.
Dope.
Cause we different from everybody. We Baltimore.
Yeah, it's very
Yeah.
true, man. It's very true. We got something special going on here, man.
Baltimore's also like not a big enough city to like even have that divide. Like,
Yeah.
everyone should just be helping each other out.
Exactly. We're like a major city, but we're kind of fucking small. So if you divide that up into quarters and shit, like, oh, South Baltimore, East Baltimore, that's like, how do you expect anybody to come up? You know,
Right.
it's not
Yeah.
enough.
Exactly. We might as well just come together. You feel me? Work as a team. We so smart. We might as well work as a team.
Yeah.
Right.
And it's cool being, because we're a little bit older than you. Like I said, Eric and I are both 26. And like just coming up, even from my generation, which I guess is the same generation, we're all millennials and shit like that.
Right.
But like just watching, I feel like Baltimore has kind of dropped that a little bit. I feel like people are starting to come together a little bit more lately than it has been in the past,
Right.
which is dope. And so it's cool to see you guys, which are on like the fringes of it, just fucking doing that shit, which is great.
Definitely.
It's fucking great. So how do you guys go about gaining your Instagram following? You guys just following, unfollowing, shit like that? Because that's what we do.
I mean, yeah, it's a grind. You definitely gotta follow people to gain followers. So that's
Yeah.
where it started. If you want people to see us, we gonna have to see them first. You know?
Yeah, exactly.
for sure.
I ain't
Exactly.
really hold you. I downloaded the app. Anybody that's not following, back on the follow them. You gotta go. You got
Yeah,
to.
definitely.
And people hate on that. People hate on that tactic, but the reality is, it's like, you know. So look, what we do is we have this bot called Auto Insta, and what it does is you can target in what you like, the different hashtags, and it'll like all the pictures in the hashtags. You target in certain people, like certain accounts, and it'll follow their followers. So you can actually target people that actually, I'll show you guys what I'm talking about. Do you guys do it manually? You guys just go through?
Yeah, I know manually just click. Yeah, it's a grind.
I started using the app. You feel me?
Okay.
To go in and see. So then I go in and select them. Yeah, you gotta go every time.
Oh yeah.
Hell yeah! So do you guys sell this merchandise out? Do you guys like do a lot of live stuff, or just mostly social media marketing, things like that?
Social media, and we participated in like a fashion show last year, event, but you feel
Dope.
me? It's mostly just social media.
That's sick, man. Who designed the shirts, by the way?
We all did. We all put that foot into it.
Hell yeah! And so, who are all the guys in the group? We got Jizzle, Blow. Who are the other guys in the group?
We got Vino, D-Lo, we got Chris Two Faded, we got Cash, Coop 15, Justo.
Yeah, we got a couple people.
Yeah, you guys
Yeah.
got some
Yeah,
dope
we got
ass
some
fucking
couple-
names.
yeah,
dude.
yeah.
Every single
I
person in that
dope
crew's got a
names,
great
yeah.
name, dude. Sitting over here, I'm Jimmy. Is Eric?
Some people call me E.
We got fucking Vino, Coop 15 and shit like that. So did you guys all go to high school together? Or did you guys all like in original high school? Or did you guys meet them afterwards?
D-Lo, me and him, we known each other since like second grade. And Vino and D-Lo cousins, so we knew each other. Me and Vino knew each other since like middle school. The rest of them I knew them since high school.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah.
And the way me and Vino, you see, we was in the same grade. And Blow, you was what, 2 years under us?
Yeah, 2 years.
He was 2 years under us. So when he first came to the city, that's how I first met him through Vino. It was like, it was all love from there.
Yeah.
Damn. Now I know a lot of guys who do, because I know a lot of guys who start that like kind of talent build up. I feel like they always come from a place where they're also trying to do something themselves, right? Like a lot of times, like if you're trying to build up other artists, a lot of those guys are artists themselves.
Yeah,
What do you
definitely.
guys do in your own personal like goals in terms of like, or are you just completely about building other people up? Or does anybody have like any individual aspirations?
No, we got like a lot of stuff in the
Yeah.
works that we working on. We do like you were saying, live interviews with anybody trying to grind, but not just that. Like we in the works of making a game show
Yeah.
featuring
Nice.
like just a special guests around Baltimore who also want to help promote their stuff.
Definitely.
Game show, that's a good ass idea.
Yeah, there's
Yeah,
no
yeah.
game shows in Baltimore.
There's no
No
game
game
shows
shows.
fucking anywhere, dude. I don't
Yeah.
even know they have new game shows
Exactly.
anymore, dude.
So yeah, you gonna see us on
coming
TV.
that. Yeah.
Oh,
Man.
fucking got Steve Harvey, Drew Carey. That's the only fucking game shows I can think of, dude.
We're gonna come with something tough.
Those shits were fun, man. I remember, like,
Yeah.
I feel like all the old I feel like 70s was the height of game shows, dude. And when I was coming up, there was Who Wants to Be a Millionaire. You guys remember that show? Who Wants to Be a Millionaire?
I used to watch with my grandmother a little bit.
Yeah,
I got a
Regis.
vague memory of it, but I know what you're talking about.
Those shits were for real, dude. So where are you guys at with the podcast right now? You'd mentioned you're still looking for a place to kind of set up and put it
Yeah.
on right now.
Yeah.
So is the main drawback just like the equipment and the location to record and stuff like that?
Yeah,
Yeah,
definitely.
so we actually the location we working on is actually gonna be like my garage. So we're gonna try to trick it up. Yeah, Jimmy gave us some inspiration. Jimmy E, shout out the
Jimmy got it tricked out. I ain't really.
That wall wasn't there before.
Yeah, that's
dude.
crazy.
Yeah.
You fucking take a garage, you can turn that shit into a podcast place. Real fucking place. It's fucking great, dude. It's fucking great. Yeah, man. The way we got started was this garage started out. My friend Scott, who's like a model actor, he moved out to Asia for a while. But we went to high school together. Eric and I have known each other since middle school. We went to school in Towson, and one day I was sitting out back with Scott in that driveway because we were just always chilling here, like just an empty garage and just fucking smoke and drink or whatever. Right. And we were like, yo, what if we fucking just like built up a place where like I could record my music here and you could fucking do your film stuff? Like we got a green screen on the other side and shit like that. Right. So we just kind of, it just all kind of just happens organically. And like the way, it's crazy the way shit works and the way shit like piggybacks off of everything else, because like I never had any inclinations to do anything like a podcast. I didn't listen to podcasts. I didn't even think about that shit. Like I was thinking strictly in terms of like, I need a place to record my music. Scott needs a place to film his fucking stuff, and his desk used to be over there, and he would have his computer over there, and I'll be over here, and we'd just be in here like a fucking regular office, dude. Waking up every morning, 11 a.m., just fucking typing shit out, doing whatever. We weren't really doing shit, we're watching YouTube videos and shit, but it's just like nice. It's just nice to have a place to go. Yeah. And then from that, once you create that, it's just crazy because once you create one thing, you can't even imagine all the other shit that shoots out of that. So like the idea to have a podcast would have never even been conceived of if we didn't initially have the idea to build a studio.
Yeah,
once
Jimmy
we built
already had all the mics and the equipment to do it.
It was too easy not to do. We were like, I got all these fucking mics.
Right.
We both talk.
We would just sit here and talk shit anyway.
Yeah. Yo, we're already drinking and smoking. We might as well do it into a microphone.
It's crazy how life works. I would never think I'd be sitting here doing a guest starred on a podcast. I never think I would be doing something like that. It's crazy how life works.
It's cool. We just real quick shouts out to the listeners in Czech Republic. Thank you guys. We just peaked at number 59 on the charts.
59 today?
Yeah, we made it to 59. I looked at the things.
Oh
we went. So we got an email. We went to number 59 in the Czech Republic.
I don't know why it's popular in Czech Republic.
We're huge in Czech Republic, baby. What's up, slaves? How's it going, man? Like a huge Russian fan base. I don't know what's going on, dude. Actually, I think the Czechs hate the Russians, dude. I think we just lost some fans. Yo, fuck Russia, bro.
Back to 66.
Fuck Russia. Am I right? Yeah, we're dropping down the charts, dude. I don't know what happens. It's weird because like I was thinking about it. I was like, what do we do that would? It's weird because like our listener base isn't primarily Baltimore. Like we got a big listener base in San Francisco.
Yeah,
I don't know what that's about.
California for whatever reason.
That's how I feel about YouTube too. Like on one of our videos, our Eminem diss videos, we got live comments on that, but it's like nobody from Baltimore. And when we did the live, it was a couple people from Baltimore. Like, yeah, we from Baltimore. This and that.
Maybe everybody in Baltimore fucks with Eminem. Did you ever think about that? What were you dissing Eminem about?
We was watching the MGK diss. We was doing that stuff. You feel me?
That's the way to do it, dude. When I was coming up, YouTube was like the thing. So like back in 2011, bless you, all the shit was like everybody would be doing like fucking acoustic covers on YouTube and shit like that. I don't know if you guys remember that, but that was like all the rage. That's how Justin Bieber got popular. That's how fucking Shawn Mendes got. Actually, Shawn Mendes got popular off Vine, right?
Yeah, because he did like a thing with that one Vine guy on Netflix.
Yeah.
They had like the superstar tour of Vinesters. They like went around the world. It was honestly kind of depressing because like, just thousands of girls would just show up and fawn over these kids who were like being like tricked into signing like can't have sex contracts. And then, the manager, like every episode, the manager would have to come in and be like, "Dude, that girl is way too young for you. Get out of here."
Right. You clearly signed this. You can't have sex contract. Like, damn, what did I get in this business for, Dan? To not have sex? Jesus Christ. I'm still waiting on that plane right now, dude. Where's all this sex at, bro? What the fuck?
Yeah.
Right. I got this garage. I got this podcast. Where is the pussy, dog?
Yeah, it's supposed to be flowing in just like that.
I just don't think I don't know if girls are huge podcast fans. I don't know if they're not. I don't know. Like we don't talk about like girl related shit, dude. Yeah. I don't know. We talk about Czech Republic related shit, dude.
Dude, I figure like a one-stop world tour.
They got
taking podcasts.
I can't even think of a city in the Czech Republic. Budapest?
No, I don't think so. That's like Turkey.
It seemed like girls would be like more so in tune with like the drama side of stuff, or like what's going on in Hollywood.
You know what girls
like
that fucking freaks me out? Girls are super into murder shit, like serial killers and shit.
What?
CSI? I be talking to them like, what you do? Watch the TV show on 48, first 48.
Yeah.
They gotta be interested in that. Like crazy.
Like I had a seasonal job at Victoria's Secret this past like winter break, and this one girl who I worked with in there, like she would watch this show about real live murder cases that were getting solved. She wouldn't even watch the show. Like she would just play the audio because it's like you at work, you can't watch the show.
Yeah,
but it's like you like it that much to listen to it without watching it. You know,
they be studying that shit, low key. They be trying.
Well, the first big podcast that I recall, like that caught my attention, and I'm kind of slow when it comes to that shit. Like I was way behind the podcast wave when it came out, but there was a podcast called Serial, and the first season of it was based on a murder case that was in Baltimore. I don't know. You guys ever hear about that show, Serial? It's about this murder case for this dude named Adnan. He lived in he went
Catonsville or something.
Yeah, it was in Baltimore. It was because he apparently killed this Korean chick and buried her in Lincoln Park. You guys know where Lincoln Park is?
Yeah.
He was dragging.
Huh?
He was dragging. He was trying to get out of there.
Yeah, dude. Yeah. I didn't realize Lincoln Park.
He killed her in like a Best Buy parking lot.
That's the place to do it, dude. Obviously,
it wasn't.
You can kill somebody, you gotta do a Best Buy parking lot.
They gotta go.
Yeah, but that shit popped off, and like one of the big things we just got a critique about this last week was saying like, oh, you guys need more of like a format, you know?
Right.
But our format has always been just like bringing in people and just fucking talking about what they do, and it sounds like you guys are kind of on that same wave.
Definitely.
Yeah. Which is dope. So have you guys done any of the live interviews yet, or is this all work in progress still?
No, we did actually a couple live interviews. We did the first one we did was with Cash. He worked at the job with Blow and Vino and D-Lo. And Justo, they all worked together for real. And he was like a top chef in there. He made some banging ass jerk chicken, but he also was a rapper from New York. So he went in there and got his point of view of like coming from New York to Baltimore and just what the music meant to him and how his culture affected him. That was the first interview. Then we did interviews with Noonies, Band Runners Noonies. We did a couple interviews with him.
We did one with him. Then we did one after that, the one with Monty.
Oh, yep. Omani.
Who's Monty?
He's a rapper too. Band Runners Nooney, he's a rapper. And then we did
Money Motivated Cash Money.
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
And then we did another one on Nooney again because he's coming up with some fire. So
yeah, we got some hot shit coming. And another thing that we trying to get working on is like we also not only like promoting on YouTube, but we want to be like promoters, period. Like as far as like parties going, everything. Like even promoters for a club, you gonna see us on a couple flyers. The guy eating the money off the plate.
We trying to get our foot and everything.
Yeah. And that really is the way to do it. I mean, like just because like I was telling you before, I play music professionally, and one of the biggest things that I learned was that, and that's that old cliche saying, like it's not what you know, it's who you know. But it's a very true concept that like just going around and do what you guys are doing and doing what we're doing and just meeting people and establishing good relations with people. You don't even really know. It's kind of the same thing as like how like creating the studio opened up this whole door of other options of doing the podcast, and then all of a sudden that leads to us here right now. Shit that you could never even imagine, you know? Right. But just that's the same way in personal relationships. You invite people in, you know Omani now. You know what was the chef's name again?
Curry.
Curry, yeah.
Like you have that relationship with them, and you don't even know what comes out of that. Like if that guy puts on an event, and he's thinking like, yo, I need somebody to promote this, he's gonna think of you guys, right? Like that's just how the world works, which is it's very dope. It's a good thing to know, especially coming out. I feel like an old head right now because I'm just like fucking just telling you guys shit.
No, I definitely feel you because it's like even just like you said, the crab bucket mindset of being in Baltimore, like it's hard to even meet people here because you don't know where people's minds at, and
exactly
the drugs like really take a hold over a lot of people's minds. Like they get on these crazy drugs, they don't even know what they be taking and how it's affecting them.
It's crazy. It's crazy out here.
That shit is getting crazy with the fentanyl and shit like that, man.
Yeah.
I know so many people just in the past year that have OD'd on that.
Wow.
And like it's crazy shit, man. Yeah. It's like I don't even know what to even do about it. I don't personally do that shit. So that's like one thing to do about it. Just don't fucking do that shit.
Right, yeah.
That's the best first step. But like, damn, that shit's like, wow. Where you guys streaming from, by the way? On you guys streaming from the Chase a Plate Instagram right now?
Yeah, well, I'm streaming from my personal page,
Yeah.
the Chaser Plate Jizzle page.
Hell yeah.
I'm streaming from my personal page too. We were streaming from the Chaser Plate page earlier though.
Dope,
Yeah.
dope. Getting that pre-podcast cloud in.
Definitely,
Yeah.
definitely.
How'd you guys get your name? How'd you get the name Blow, dude, by the way?
So look, back in ninth grade, Vino, he used to tell Vino, he older than me. He was
Okay.
when I was a ninth grade, he was a 12th grader.
Okay.
So he used to tell everybody I was his hitter. Cause you feel me? At younger, I was like a high head and I was real. I was in 2-something.
Yeah.
So he used to tell everybody I was hitting and everybody just started calling me Blow.
Oh, I thought you were about to roll in here with the fucking lines of coke and shit.
No.
I was like, yo, you better
No,
come
I was-
prepare,
no, I was
baby.
young.
Brought all kinds of straws and shit. I was ready, dude. I was like, man, dude, Blow?
Yeah.
You already
Where the
know what Blow's about, dude. What about Jizzle, dude? How'd you get that?
Well, Jizzle, my name has been washed and thrown through so many. I got like 1,000 different nicknames. In high school, they used to call me Blue, but I made an Instagram name one time, and like it was just like popping to put like Izzle and whatever your name was, and I came up with A Jizzle, and as a A Jizzle, people started calling me Jizzle off of that, and my brother Muda, he called me Jizzle Wop, so they call me Wop, Jizzle, Blue. I got like 5
I'm gonna say
different
that I
names.
feel like you've introduced yourself as like 3 different names just since you've been here.
Yeah.
It's like, I don't know what to call this.
Yeah.
Why everybody start calling you E?
I think it's just like a shortened.
He was a
No,
hitter.
Eric's like a very short name
Shut up.
already too, but like
Yeah.
if you're just being super lazy, just be like, yo, E.
Yeah, you gotta come with a better backstory, dog. You'll be like, yo, when I was a freshman, I was a fucking hot boy. Sell that E. Everybody was like, yo, you want E? You gotta go to E, dog. Like, yo, you mean Eric? Nah,
Nah,
Eric.
E.
E, bro.
No, who's that? No, E. Oh yeah, E. Okay.
Damn. So what kind of music you guys fuck with? Because I know I was playing the Kanye shit. I'm assuming I'm a little outdated or whatever. Whatever. I don't know. What do you guys fuck with right now?
Sheesh.
Alright. If I'm on a regular basis, I'm probably listening to Lil Baby. My mind's Noonie. Shout out to Noonie. I'm listening to you feel me? Jada Youngin, Quano Rondo. Feel me?
Any
Around
Baltimore
that.
based artists?
Yeah, Noonie here, Baltimore based. I listen to some Bonnie a little bit, but I listen to some Young Moves, Izzy Scola.
Dope.
I go back to Lord Scooter. Y'all heard about Lord Scooter?
Gotta go back to
Yeah,
school.
man.
You gotta
R.I.P.
be-
Yeah.
dog. Damn.
Yeah,
That's
definitely.
mandatory.
That, I mean, that's a perfect example of. I mean, when I heard about that shit, I was like, that's a perfect example of just Baltimore in a nutshell. Just seeing this guy makes a fucking banger hit, fucking actually doing something, and from all accounts, it seemed like he was kind of giving back to the city. I couldn't say personally. I don't fucking know.
Yeah.
Right.
But-
And that's one thing, like, you never know what people doing when they be in the streets, like, because sometimes you can't always be the good guy when you play in the streets.
Exactly.
But, like, as far as, like, school, I can't say, like, I saw him doing, like, a lot of charity events. He never really,
Helping
like,
kids
promoted the violence or the criminal activity. Of course, he did what he had to do. But he, like, and when he came out, it was really pivotal. Like, that was a big cultural moment for Baltimore as far
Yeah,
as
man.
music goes. Like, and I don't know if y'all remember, like, it was like just this big scene of rap beef with like Young Moose. I don't know if you ever heard this song,
Yeah.
True Bill.
Mm-hmm.
Like,
Yeah.
and then School that he did they say that I'm crazy in the interview song. Like, they were like Baltimore legends after that, cause it's like, yo, this the shit you hear in the industry. They doing this in our city,
Yeah.
and it just make you see like this city really talented. We got
Yeah.
some shit we could work with here.
Mhm.
Then right before they popped up, we had G Rock. He got killed
Yeah.
around the time that Scooter and them was popping up. Yeah.
G-Rock got killed in his own hood. It's a
His own hood.
another Baltimore rapper got killed in their own hood. Baltimore rapper Nick Breed. He got
Really?
they say he
Nick
got
Breed.
killed on his own street.
Yeah.
Jeez.
All,
Yeah, it's-
all from the Ville. It's crazy.
It's a war.
It seems to be a lot of contempt. I mean, I said it earlier, but it seems to be like a lot of that mentality of like somebody else's success is your failure. And I could see that shit. Like, that's the thing that I feel like could happen. Because they always say, like, most of the people who did make it out of Baltimore literally made it out of Baltimore. So, like, they got famous and they went somewhere else and pursued their career.
Right.
It's really like you got to. When being in Baltimore, it's like people be jealous, they be envy. They don't believe in everybody can eat. They
Yeah.
trying to get that bag themselves. You feel me? They
Yeah.
selfish. So,
And I gotta shout out Band Hunter Izzy for the simple fact that he was one mixtape in and he got out the city. One mixtape, his first mixtape, he took that money and that success and that clout.
Definitely.
He never stopped applying pressure, kept dropping music, single, dropped another tape. He got signed and he left. He may not have got signed to the biggest record deal. It was not Rock Nation or nothing, but he did what he had to do to make it out. And his career grown. Like, he be messing with T.I. daughter. Like, he on Love and Hip Hop and shit. Those are big moves.
For Baltimore. Is he messing with T.I. daughter? Yeah.
That's big shots.
That's a good look.
That's big shots, dude. I say he made it then. Damn. If I was fucking T.I.'s daughter, I'd say I made it.
Yeah, pretty much.
Oh, what'd you
everything.
do? Fuck T.I.'s daughter.
Got that on the
Probably say I made it.
Yeah.
That'd be legit, dude.
Yeah.
Y'all good on whiskey over there? Y'all good?
Yeah, I'm
you got
good.
2 cups over there?
Yeah.
Man, Ashton.
Always use another. I ain't really old.
I'm about to light up another stove right now. Dude, these Camel Crushes. Y'all smoke cigs at all?
Nah.
Yeah, people your age don't smoke cigs anymore. Dude.
Yeah.
It's a lost. It's a lost. You guys vape?
Nah,
No vaping?
No
straight
jewels.
blunts.
I smoke weed.
Smoke weed.
That Doja, straight Doja.
Yeah.
Damn, dude. So I guess you guys kind of I mean, I'm not entirely sure of exactly what part. I mean, you told me like Edmondson Village, but I guess you didn't get too caught up in all that other shit, right? You kind of like did you get caught up in high school and then kind of break out of it, or did you just always have a straight and narrow that you're gonna fucking avoid that shit altogether?
Like, as far as like the territorial side of it?
I mean, as far as like just getting caught up in the crime and the drugs and all the fucking industry down there.
I mean, personally, you do what you do. You know, you live and you learn. You grow up. Like, if it's the shit that you expose to, you probably gonna get in some type of involvement. Not saying you see drug dealers, you gonna be a dope dealer right off the bat, but you're gonna have some type of involvement with drugs. You gonna know somebody who do drugs, or you gonna do them yourself.
Yeah. Did you guys have people in your life that were a little bit older that kind of steered you away from that? Like, who were your like influences in terms of like were you looking up to people that were kind of doing the same thing that you're doing right now, or did you kind of just come up? This is like a from scratch idea, kind of like a we're gonna fucking build this shit.
Yeah, this is from scratch. Like,
wow.
Yeah, straight from scratch.
Majority of people I know sell drugs, do drugs. You feel me?
Yeah.
So it's kind of like after a while, just saying like. The thing, you feel me? I had to do things because I was missing something or being in a certain environment. You feel me? So it's kind of like I feel the pain of the drug dealers out here. You feel me?
Yeah.
I want everybody like these people talented. You feel me? I want them to chase their dreams. I feel like with Chase a Play, we can help people push people that way. So,
Yeah. And another message you want to send with Chase a Plate is that you don't, because it's like a trend that you gotta sell drugs. Like, everybody around the city look like they think like, oh, selling drugs the only way out. That's the only way to make money, but there's other ways to make money. Like legal ways where you don't gotta keep dealing with the police.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, this is gonna be a very white guy input to this. I grew up in the county. Eric grew up in the county as well. I was about to pour whiskey into my ashtray. Very county move. So we both grew up in Towson, but we both dropped out of college, and I always had aspirations to be a musician. But for the longest time, I was working as a waiter in restaurants, and I worked at my first job, got fired after 2 years. Went to my second job, got fired again.
Right.
2 years. I worked everywhere for 2 years. So I went 3 separate serving jobs, 2 years. So I was a server for 6 years total, bartender, all that shit. And I remember after my third time getting fired, and I was looking around for jobs, and I was looking around for more surfing jobs. And I remember one of my friends was like, yo, like, why are you only looking at serving jobs? And I was like, what do you mean? And then I was like, just kind of caught my curiosity. So I started looking around for like other jobs and shit. I went online. I was like looking at like sound guy jobs, radio producing jobs, working for different things like that. And I realized that like my mentality was so locked in to thinking that like the only way that I could make money was by doing this shit that I'd always been doing.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So like it never even crossed my mind to be like, yo, I don't have to do this. Like, it's just what I've been doing.
Right.
There's other ways to get it. And so that was like, And of course, for me, I was lucky enough to get kind of forced into it because everywhere I worked was like, yo, get the fuck out of here. What are you doing? And so finally, at a point, I was like, all right, I got to figure something out.
Right.
But like for the longest time, people learned that in a way harder fashion, you know? Because that was, from my experience, that was just in the service industry and shit. But if I had that same experience in like the shit in the city, like with the fucking drug culture, like people learn that the hard way. And it sucks because like the mentality, I guess, for people that grow up in those areas is like, I guess maybe they never even thought that this isn't the only way,
Yeah,
you know? And I never understood that until I experienced it myself, you know, in a totally different venue.
Yeah, it's kind of like if you growing up, you feel me? You gotta be 14 to get up. You're not getting a job till you like 16.
Yeah.
If you growing up, you feel me? Especially when you going to high school, you see people with things like the newest iPhones, the newest shoes and stuff like that. You can't get a job yet, and you grow up in the hood with all your friends. All the people you see selling drugs, you gonna automatically, in order to get some money, this is what I gotta do. And it might not even be just to get the newest iPhone, it might be to eat. You feel me? So, and then after just growing up, keep doing the same thing, you see the fast money coming. It's addictive.
Yeah.
Right.
You feel me?
And then also like, as like I'm a psych major at Cottman, so like a lot of the shit that goes on is a lot of mental health issues. Like a lot of people not getting the proper support, the proper nurturing. Like you don't necessarily see what people go through behind closed doors,
Exactly.
and that can make them react a certain way to certain situations. And it's like a lot of anxiety in Baltimore, like a lot of PTSD. People done like, as high as the murder rate is supposed to be this small. I mean, I'm sure you know somebody who done seen some shit or probably done some shit either.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
You know?
Right.
So like people don't even be right up here. So when it translates into the real world, it's gonna be a lot of funky shit that go on.
Yeah, and there's not a lot of places to turn to. Like I feel like City was a good school though.
Yeah.
Yeah, like I think like Poly is probably the best city school. Maybe. I mean, I know I shouldn't say it. To
I
you
mean,
guys.
yeah, not to us.
City's
Yeah,
Not to you.
City's dope. You guys have the knight as the mascot or the
yeah, we
Black
got a
Knights,
castle
baby.
and everything. Write your
Hell
name in the
yeah.
castle before you graduate.
Yeah, yeah.
That's dope, dude. I've always been personally a Poly guy myself. That's only because we both went to Towson High School. It's about 2 miles up the road from Poly.
Okay.
And we would just like
City's not that far though. City's
City's
kind
real
of
close,
like,
too,
It's
yeah.
like Goucherish, kind of like
Yeah,
by Johns
right.
Off the
Hopkins.
Alameda.
Yeah.
But my wrestling coach was a Poly graduate, and so we would always go down and scrimmage and practice with Poly. So they were always
Okay.
like my boys down there. But like, yeah, City. So I always learned, like, I was like, yo, fuck City, dog. I don't fucking care.
We 7 Pete right now.
Fucking original
Yeah, we're about to get
podcast.
that shirt snatched back.
Yeah, dude. Give me that shit, bro. That's fucking great. Did you guys play sports in high school at all? Or?
I played a little bit.
What'd you do?
I played baseball my 9th grade year.
Nice.
I'm surprised I even made it 10. That's my first year I ever played baseball.
Was City nice at baseball?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Hell yeah, dude.
And then I played football my 10th grade year. First time I ever played football too. And I started.
Oh, City was
Hell
pretty
yeah.
nice at football, right?
Yeah.
You guys had a pretty nice football
was-
team.
Yeah, we beat Poly.
Yeah.
That's like
That's all that really mattered.
You guys
that's like
play
a
Dunbar?
home trophy. Like it's better than the championship. No, Dunbar now.
Dunbar's
When I was there, Dunbar was the shit.
Yeah. It's still
Dunbar's still a shit.
They was
I
the
love-
shit at everything.
I love watching the Maryland State football championships because it's
Right.
always like that like super inner city school versus like some like hick ass Western Maryland school, and it's always
Yeah.
like that. It's like you see all sides of Maryland. It's just so cool, dude.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's fucking awesome, dude. But Dunbar won the state championship against Fort whatever, I don't fucking know their name, last year.
Dunbar got like a new field from Under Armour. Like
Yeah,
their fucking
dude.
football
I'm not
field's
even
nice.
surprised. I ain't
Yeah.
about
Well,
that.
one thing City was good at, we was definitely good at basketball. Like basketball was our
Yeah.
thing. We won the state championship.
Poly
Went undefeated. Won the state
Really?
championship. Yeah.
Probably went crazy for the last couple of years. I ain't really hold
Really?
you.
Oh, I ain't been
They
keeping
got,
up.
they
Oh,
got
all
people
right.
up there for like 6'5" dunking up there.
Damn, did they recruit or they just fucking had the natural talent right in there?
I think they recruit.
Well,
To
Poly?
my knowledge, they recruit. I'm going with that one.
I know City, they recruited because my brother, he went to Cop and they recruited these two twins who played basketball. It was big as shit, like 6'4" and 6'5".
They got the fucking Monstars playing.
Yeah, like yeah, basically the Monsters. Yeah, definitely. I mean, that was probably like one year we had probably like 4 guys 6'4" and over.
Damn.
playing. Yeah, so it was like they playing like little guys, like kids.
Right. What kids are supposed to be, you know? Like they're supposed to be that small.
Right.
It's a regular sized kid.
A regular ass team.
Yeah.
So what made you decide to pursue psychology? Is that like it seems like that's like a passion of yours in some aspect?
I mean, yeah, so I started off at like Morris College, and that's in South Carolina. I was fucking up, you know. A whole bunch of shit went on down there. I came back home, went to a community college in Baltimore, and I took a couple psychology classes under my A degree, and I was like, damn, this shit kind of everywhere, you know.
Mm-hmm.
Anything you do, you can involve psychology in it, because everything, like, people think before they act.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like people always studying that thought process. So it's like, damn, this kind of like being a barber. Like, you know, everybody's going to need their hair cut at some point, just like a doctor. Everybody has a health issue at some point. It's the same thing with mental health. So I'm like, this is a good ass field, and I can give back to my city this way too.
So do you see yourself, because I know with college, a lot of people look at it as like a plan A, but like with your psychology education, do you see yourself getting a job in that field, or do you see yourself taking that knowledge and applying it towards what you're doing with this? Like just building the brand and then taking your knowledge and doing that. Like, is this, I guess what I'm asking is chase a plate is like plan A for you guys?
Yeah, chase a plate, always plan A for me. I always talk about this. Like, people like me, you, E, and Blow, we special because we don't fit in with like a regular job. Some people can accept that. I don't mind working a 9 to 5. 9 to 5s don't work out with me. I get into it with my bosses.
Yeah.
I conflict with the hours. I'd rather be my own boss.
Yeah.
So you see what I'm saying? I'd rather do chase a plate, but if all else fails, which I know it won't, I know we're gonna end up rich, probably in the next year or two, rich and famous, all that good shit. But as of right now, I'm gonna just keep something for a backup plan.
Yeah, the end goal is to be an investor at the end of the day. Like, we trying to have our money making money. So.
Hell yeah, dude. 1 second, let me put the cap on this. Actually,
You just fucking kicked over.
Yeah.
kicked
Coke
over a
on the
full
carpet.
2 liter. Honestly, that probably made the carpet cleaner because most of the shit that gets spit on this is like weed and beer. Probably clean that shit up a little bit. It's probably spill more on there.
Fuck. So what's like the next? I know you guys said earlier on that you got some things coming up. Want to speak on any of those, or
We got Saturday freestyles coming up Saturday. We calling it Chasing Buzz. We want all artists send us freestyles. I don't care if you write it and freestyle. Just send us vids. We putting it up. Which later going to lead into something else. So I'm gonna keep on the hush on that.
okay?
You feel me?
Ooh, keeping it hush, hush.
Gotta
Dude.
keep the hush on that.
Any other hush stuff that you want to bring up though? Any exclusives you want to put out there?
We got game show coming soon.
Yeah, we gonna call that dumbing out.
Yeah, dumbing out. You feel me?
Yeah.
The Baltimore way, the dumb way.
Dumbing out.
way.
I like that.
Yeah, the dumb way is a good hashtag.
I feel like I relate to that mentality a lot. Not the dumb shit. I relate to that in a different way. But like, that's one of the toughest things for me coming up in high school. And I went to 1 year at Taos University. And one of the most difficult things for me was I feel like everything was conditioning you to eventually work for someone else.
Yeah,
it was like the education was
exactly.
always based towards like, oh, you get a good grade, you get good grades here, then you get into a good college, you get good grades here, and then you get a good job. But it's like there wasn't a lot of education based around like running your own shit. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And so like I kind of like Eric lucked out, dude. Eric works for a fucking production company where the fucking boss was a college. Joe didn't graduate, right?
He got his AA.
He got his AA, which is, you know,
Yeah.
good as dropping it.
That's like a half year. Yeah.
It's just crazy. Like school, you go to school 8 o'clock in the morning. You take a lunch break, then you out. It's basically training you to work for a job. You wake up early in the morning.
And
get
I
out
was
late.
thinking about that because even in
Facts.
high school, like you wake up, you get there. Like I remember the opening bell would ring at 7:50 for us, and like it was like you do that Monday to Friday, and from the day you go to kindergarten, you're conditioned to just operate on that. And like playing music and stuff, like my work week is entirely different. Like my work week is the weekends. Like Thursday through Sunday, I'm fucking playing gigs. Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, I'm usually just fucking chilling.
Right.
But it's like my whole life was conditioned from the moment you're a little kid and you go to school, you're just conditioned to fucking follow this path. And it's like I feel like the best way to handle that is to always maintain what your goals are and take what you can get out of that system, but don't let that system define you. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, definitely.
Just growing up, I always, anytime I had a job, I'm like, I hate jobs. This job shit so phony. Not anybody that has a job, do your thing, keep on hustling, but nah, you feel me? It ain't for me. I used to always get in conflict with my boss all the time, with general managers. I never liked jobs.
Yeah. My favorite saying was always, I didn't understand it as a younger guy, but I was listening to a song. I think it was Wiz or something. Somebody said, "Get it how you live." And I finally, it clicked with me. I was like, what does that mean? And I was like, oh, that means like make your money doing the shit that you would normally already be doing.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So that's what get it how you live is. It's like
turn a hobby to a hustle. Yeah.
exactly,
Yeah.
dude. That's the goal, man. That's the goal. And it's like it takes a lot of fortitude to do it, because when you're out on a path, kind of like a straight path, where like there's not really a clear-cut way to go about what you guys are doing.
Definitely.
There's nobody being like, okay, so you got to do X amount of Instagram live streams, you got to do this many interviews, and then you're gonna reach this next step.
Right.
It's like you gotta draw it out for yourself and believe in it the whole way.
Yeah.
Definitely.
And like, I think it's funny because like, you know, and it's everybody has their own personal experiences. Like, I was very much like you guys when I was your age. Like when I was 21, I was like, yo, when I'm 23 though, trust me, dog. Yo's garage gonna be fucking history. But
Right.
like you'll be fucking surprised. Like, and people get lucky, and other people make it sooner than other people. But the main thing is that like what happens is a lot of people have this like idea of what's gonna happen, and then it's just this slow path of like being discouraged. You get to 23, and maybe you haven't done all the shit you thought you were going to do by 23. And that's when people start doubting themselves. And that's when people start reconsidering, like, oh, maybe this shit's not going to work out. And so you see a lot of people that, like, because when you're around your age, there's a lot more people that are about that same shit that you guys are about.
Yeah.
And then what happens is, as the years progress, people start to drop off. Certain people that you thought were about it weren't actually about it. You know what I'm saying? People just start to drop out because life gets scary. And you start to get to that point where you're like, yo, this is my actual life.
Yeah.
This is my actual real fucking life. And I'm like 25, 26, and like, shit, man. I hope I didn't fuck up, make the wrong decision, you know what I'm saying? But that, I feel like that's part of the process though.
Definitely.
Right.
It's
I feel like
Jimmy's midlife crisis right
you
no,
be
but-
bad to me. What you doing?
But like bouncing off of what you said, like starting off from the bottom, it's like a cold place. A lot of people scared just because of just the thought of the work that you had to put in.
Yeah.
The
And
big
just
where
doing
you wanna
something
be.
new that you don't know
Yeah.
anything about. Just
And then they see other people who like already there, and it's kind of discouraging. Like, I don't got what they got.
Yeah.
You know, but everybody, like, I embrace the struggle. You know, I come from the struggle. You gotta embrace it. So it's like you gotta build yourself up, and I'm not scared to get my hands dirty.
Yeah.
It took. I ain't gonna lie. Like a couple years ago, I kind of settled for the. Let me go to college, get this degree, doing all this other stuff. It took me to a point where I was on my lowest, like I was on my ass. You feel me? For me to really sit there, like all my life, I've been doing whatever I need to do. You feel me? To make ends meet and all that shit. You feel me?
Yeah.
So it's kind of on the tip, like. Let me go ahead. I'd rather live a life.
Yeah.
You feel me? Trying to live my dream than settling. Like, fuck settling. Like, that.
Yeah.
It's phony. You feel me?
Right,
Shit phony.
Yeah, and it's honestly, it's better because like you got to think about like what is life actually about, because like I know for a fact that if I were to go and decide like I got a license to be like an insurance adjuster, which is like going out and fucking climbing on roofs, writing up estimates for insurance companies for fucking damages. My friend does that shit. He made like $240,000 last year doing that shit. He went down to fucking Florida during the hurricane. He went down to Texas when Houston had the hurricane. I forgot Irma and Jose or whatever the fuck the hurricanes. There's so many fucking hurricanes now. He went to all that shit and he was writing up all the estimates. He made like fucking bank and he travels the world and shit. And I just remember thinking like, I got the license to do that and he kind of put me on for it. But I remember thinking like, at a certain point, you got to think of your life in other terms other than just the money. You know what I'm saying? Like, if you're making enough money doing what you love to fucking live the life you want to live. Like for me, and people always say this, like, oh, you're not gonna understand, but once you start making more money, you start spending more money, and it kind of always equals out. Like my friend, I feel like he's in the guy who makes like $300,000 a year. we still go out to the bars together, and he's still just as like, oh shit, that tab is fucking big as shit. Like,
Right.
like it's like no matter how rich you get, because like he's dropping money on fucking hotels and stuff. So he's in the same situation as I am. So at a certain point, it's like I think of my life in terms of hours as opposed to dollars. So like, how much of my life do I truly enjoy? Well, every time I go to work, I truly enjoy playing music. So in the way I look at it, for the past 2 years of playing music, I really haven't legitimately worked in the same way that like other people have to get up and go to work, and other people get up and go to work 8 hours a day, 5 days a week.
Exactly.
They might be making more money than me, but I enjoy a larger portion of my life than
Exactly.
them.
Yeah.
You know what I'm
I
saying?
only have, like,
And not
2 hours
only
a
that,
day.
Jimmy, just think like the amount of years you put into somebody else's business versus the amount of years you put into your own business. You gonna see, if you put 3 years into your own business, you gonna see more revenue
Yeah.
than if you put 3 years into somebody else's business. It's gonna be more long lasting.
Yeah.
And you gonna be in control of your own plate. Like, can't nobody else take your plate off the table.
Exactly.
Because you the one in the kitchen.
Yeah, that's what they say. You can either spend your life building your own dreams or building someone else's.
Exactly.
And that's really the only two options. You're either making money for yourself or making money for someone else.
Exactly.
Yeah, like even just think about like the jobs you get, the regular jobs and shit they want us to work. The people at the top is the ones thinking like us.
Yeah.
You know,
Exactly.
they the ones who run the business, and these other people who I call weak minded, because I feel like they been conditioned to just lay down and do whatever the fuck they told. That's not me. Like,
Huh? Oh, I'm sorry.
Yeah, I
You
was
asked me
just
something.
saying, yeah.
No, I feel you.
Yeah.
You know, it's weird because I used to look at them and I kind of felt the same way. Like, oh, you're weak minded. You don't have any gumption to like fucking pursue your own thing.
Right.
But you know, everybody has their own thing. Like, I have a lot of friends that are perfectly content working
Yeah.
their 9 to 5.
yeah.
And they can truly just know that they have the security of that job and come home, and their life is all about just being happy with friends and just enjoying it and shit like that. And sometimes in a lot of ways I envy that. Because like when
Right.
I'm chilling, I have a hard time just chilling.
Right.
Every time I'm just lazying around and shit like that, I always feel guilty. I'm like, yo, you got to be doing something. You got to be doing something. You got to be grinding.
I
You gotta-
understand that feeling.
you know what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah.
it's like sometimes I envy people that are just like, you know what, dude? I got my paycheck this week. I'm working my job. I don't have to go back until Monday. I'm fucking kicking it this Friday. I'm fucking going out Saturday, whatever, having fun, and then going back to it. So it's like you need all those kind of people. You know what I'm saying?
definitely.
Right.
Because
Definitely.
even if you're, and this is something I learned from being in a band, you can't have in a business 6 lead singers.
That's a fact.
Right.
You can't. You can't. You need to be able to appreciate that everybody plays their role. You know?
Exactly.
So if you're going to be somebody who's an entrepreneur, be the kind of person who starts your own business, you need to understand that you need those people that are going to work that 9 to 5.
Yeah, that definitely. I feel like if whatever you do, I'm gonna support it as long as you do it to the best of your ability. If you want to work that 9 to 5, do that. Just work it to the best of your ability. You want to own your own business, then do that.
Yeah.
But put your hustle into it. Put your grind into it.
Yeah.
You feel me?
And everybody has their value, man. Like when I go out and I get gigs, like the drummer's not really finding the gigs, the bassist's not finding the gigs. But when the gig comes up, I can't play the fucking drums.
Right.
I can't play the fucking bass. Like I need those guys,
Exactly.
you know.
Right.
So everything equals out, and so you have to have an appreciation and just an understanding of who you are, and an appreciation for who everyone else is, and just understand where different people fit into your life. Because that's another thing that you'll come across as you go down the years. Is like you're gonna run into people, and some of them you're gonna think a certain way about them. Like I said, like you're gonna realize certain people aren't as about it as you are, or something like
Exactly.
that. Like when I was doing the band shit when I was a little bit younger, I started to realize like, oh, I was thinking like, yo, I'm down to fucking drop everything. Like if we get an opportunity, I'm about to fucking, like if we can tour, quit our jobs, fucking go out. And my friends that were also in the band were like, yo, I mean, I got this degree from Maryland in engineering. Like,
Right.
Yeah.
I can't just do that shit.
Yeah.
And it's like, you know, it's like at the time I was like, kind of like, damn, I thought that you guys were really about it, you know?
Right.
But at the same time, it's like you need to just understand how to reconstitute those people into your own lives. You know what I'm
Exactly.
saying? You need to figure out like, okay, so this person isn't going to be the person that's going to fucking travel across the country with me and play. But this is going to be the person that if I have a gig here and I can hit him up and be like, yo, can you do this? Can you do that?
Exactly.
So all those people are necessary. And that's all stuff you learn as you get older.
Yeah.
But it sounds like you guys, and I'm assuming that like, so like Vino, like what is Vino's story? Like what is he aspiring to be? Is he in college and stuff like that?
Yeah, he's in college and stuff, but we all got the same kind of kind of go like Chase a Plate is plan A. We want Chase a Plate to kick off. So
That's dope.
We just like a group of hungry. We just a pack of hungry wolves.
Yeah.
Everybody hungry. Like
Yeah.
we on the same
everybody trying to
page.
eat, and it's enough money out here to eat.
Yeah.
So
That's the other thing,
We
man.
trying to come up, but we trying to elevate everybody else too. So,
Right.
you feel me?
That is a cool concept, Chase a Plate, because it is like everybody can eat. Everybody can eat. It's dead the mentality of like, oh, if I get a plate, you don't get one. It's like, no, there's enough out here for everybody. You just got to fucking learn how to build each other up.
So much money out here.
Yeah. And that's a difference between, and that's where I think that Baltimore is starting to come on the come up, is because a lot of the other cities, like, what is the difference between a city like Chicago or a city like Philly or even DC, for instance? Like, people come out of there, people make it out of there, you know?
Exactly.
It's like, but where they come from, they appreciate their own and they put each other on, and they really believe in their people.
Yeah.
And the thing with Baltimore is like there's always this lingering like underdog mentality about Baltimore, where it's like, oh well, he's big in Baltimore, but like, you know what I'm saying? Like, he ain't like, you know, like he ain't all that.
Just cause just like Baltimore, we known as home of the wire. You feel me? The dope city, the heron. You feel me? That's all we known as. And then it's like people, and then it's like people. For instance, I just seen a post the other day where it's like, females want to do hair and lashes. People in Atlanta do all that. You feel me? Why we got making a negative type thing? People in Atlanta, a lot of females do hair and lashes. They help each other out. Why can't we do the same? We can be better in Atlanta.
Yeah.
You feel me? We put our minds to it. So
Exactly, man. It is one of those concepts, because I would always look at people like, I've never been a big fan of things. And what I mean by that is like, being a musician, I actually don't pay that much attention, and as much as I should even, I think, to like other people and what they're doing. Not that I hate on them. I don't hate on them at all. I would support everybody that does it. But like, I don't go out and like try to go to concerts and shows and shit like that. Like, I'm very much focused on like, I'm gonna make my shit. And like, so it's actually hard for me to like truly be a fan of something, you know? Because when I look at somebody who's doing something better than me, my first thought is, how can I do that?
right.
You know what I'm saying? Like, my first thought is like, what is he doing, and how can I do that? My first thought is never like, oh my God, wow, I can't wait to watch this guy.
For real.
You know what I'm saying?
My thought kind of like, once I see somebody doing something, I be like, how can we collab? How can we come together and do something that's shaking, that you feel me, that help me out and help you out too? You see what I'm saying? How can I learn from you also? You feel me? How can we piggyback off each other?
Right.
That's the way to be.
With situations in life, you know, like, everything not going to bring $1 to you, but it's not always about the dollar. Most of the times it's about what you can learn from somebody, because what you can learn can bring $1. So most of the time, like, I'm just all ears, really. Like, just try and listen to what they got to say. What can I learn from you? Like, even now, like, you saw me looking around, like, I'm checking out your customizations, ask you mic prices. Like, what can I learn from you that's going to help us benefit in a way?
Yeah. And that's the way to be, dude. I feel like too many people are focused on the money side of things way too quickly. Like, the amount of like rappers and shit like that they drop their first mixtape and they're already trying to charge for shit. And man, I'm doing this show. It's $15. Like, I never heard of you.
Money
Right.
come and,
Like,
money come and go.
Yeah, it's like, you got to invest in the intangibles. You got to invest in like, yo, here's my fucking mixtape. Take it. If you like it, then maybe eventually you'll come out and see me.
Right.
But like, you're trying to cash out on some shit that's not even ready to be cashed out on yet.
Yeah.
Right.
And that's when people get caught up. They get too stuck in that kind of like money shit, you know?
Yeah.
But on the same token, if you're coming from a city that doesn't give you very many options, what are you going to do?
Right.
You got to cash out on something, you know? So it is really a cyclical thing.
Yeah,
But
definitely.
yeah.
We gonna break that cycle. We going.
Yeah.
I hope so, dude. So are you guys, I mean, like, are you guys, obviously you guys connect with me, which is super cool. Because I whenever somebody from Baltimore reaches out to us, like, I'm always down, have them on, talk to what they're doing. Because that's what me and Eric, that's what Eric and I are about too. Like, totally about establishing connections. We actually, one of the first times we did that, we had all of our social media as LFTS podcast for Live from the Studio.
Right.
And when we tried to get the Instagram page going, there was another podcast called Live from the Shop. And they had the handle LFTS podcast. And I was like, fuck, dude, I'm trying to get our social media consistent across the board, because I'm not trying to be like, oh, LFTS podcast on Twitter, LFTS podcast _#1 on Instagram. Like, I'm not trying to do all that shit. Like, nobody gives a fuck that much. Like, I just want to be able to say, yo, LFTS podcast on everything.
Definitely.
It's too hard not to find us at that point. Like, you're going to find us if you know that one thing. And turned out that these guys live from the shop were from Woodlawn. And I was like, yo, what are the chances of everywhere in the world that the Instagram page that we wanted that handle from was right around the fucking bend?
That's
and
crazy.
So I reached out to him and I was like, yo, you guys have a thing going. I noticed that on your social media, you guys are live from the shop on everything except Instagram. For some reason, your LFTS podcast on Instagram, but live from the shop is available. And I was hoping maybe for like brand recognition, like we could take the LFTS podcast, you guys take that live from the shop. And they were receptive to it. And we actually got them to come on the podcast. And that was one of our best podcasts ever.
Clutch.
A bunch of dudes from Woodlawn. They had like a barbershop talk podcast going. Super cool guys. Shouts out Ryan Norris. I think that was episode 40. This will be episode 135. So this that was probably about 2 years ago that they came on.
Yeah.
And great podcast. I think they're doing I think they disbanded and Ryan does a show called Freedom of Speech, but it's spelled PHREE, dumb, like dummy. But they're dope, man. They're dope, and they've really been there on 1900 radio or something like that. But that's just the way to do it. You just meet people in your city and shit like that. And I would like, if you guys, because we know people, I guess, the minimal connections that we have to link you guys up with them. Just people that are a little bit further along that are kind of doing the same thing, definitely. Like Ace Matthews. She, what was the show in A3C Atlanta?
Yeah.
She was like a coordinator of that.
Okay.
Just does different shit like that. And she's like the same mentality. She's not an artist herself. She's not like a fashion producer or anything, but she like fucking just builds other people up. She puts us on all the time, and she's really doing shit. And people are receptive to her because she just has that kind of vibe. You know what I'm saying?
That's the people that's gonna make it too. The people that want to see everybody eat.
Exactly.
You just
had that moral code.
You just got to have a good name in people's mouths because you don't know how much shit gets talked about you. Not shit, but just generic, just talk that happens about you when people bring up your name. When people bring up your name, you want good things to be associated with you.
Yeah.
Because when you have bad shit built up about yourself, like, that really is how it works. If I'm doing music and people perceive me as an asshole or this, that, the other thing, when somebody has a big gig coming up, they're gonna, we should get Jimmy, and they'll be like, oh, fuck Jimmy, he's a fucking asshole.
Exactly.
Let's get this guy. Even if I'm better than that guy, that's the thing, because people don't want to see you succeed if they don't fucking like you.
Exactly.
Right.
That's the real key. Being a good person, being good by everyone you meet, is probably the number one thing you can do in life.
Yeah.
If you help other people get what they want, they will help you get what you want.
Right.
It's the whole mentality, and there's not enough people follow that.
Yeah, and also you gotta like be yourself. That's another thing. Like being yourself will work out so much better for you. Because regardless of anything you do, it's always gonna be negativity brought up.
Yeah.
I can donate $1 million to a homeless shelter, and somebody would be like, "Oh, why he ain't donated to a rape shelter?" Or somebody gonna feel like another group was more entitled. So you just gotta stick to yourself. And the people who show love, you gotta show love back. You gotta love everybody who show love to you, because that, even though love don't cost a thing, they don't gotta show love to you. They can just ignore you, act like you're not even here.
Yeah.
And being yourself is one of the hardest things, because when you first start out in any industry, the first thing they'll talk about is whether you're a model, a musician, fashion, whatever. The first thing people will think, I don't know why I keep dropping this and picking it back up and dropping it. Way too fidgety. But the first thing people will tell you is like, instantly pick up another thing. God damn. The first thing people will tell you is like, you got to have a brand, you got to have an image. When people think of you, they gotta have an idea in their mind, something easy to grasp, and just like when they think of Chase a Plate, they think this. Right. And so I feel like a lot of people spend a lot of time when they're starting out trying to think about like trying to be something that they think they should be. Like I remember when I was starting out, I used to play a lot of like acoustic. I still play mostly acoustics shows and stuff like that. And I was always like, oh, maybe I'll just be one of those like Jason Mraz, Bruno Mars coffee house kind of guys. And like I would wear like sweater vests to my gigs and shit like that. And like, it just wasn't me, but it was like what I thought was supposed to be me, And people weren't really receptive to it. It was like people can tell when you're not really genuine. You know, they can. It's a sense that people have. Like they just know when it's not really you. It just doesn't fit. You know, and so the real art is to in my opinion, before you can effectively market yourself, you have to have a very clear understanding of who you are personally, and that's a philosophical thing. That's a I don't want to say spiritual thing, but it like you have to understand who you are and what your place in the world is, and once you understand it for yourself, then projecting it out into the world is second nature.
Yeah, it's
easy. And people, when you don't have the understanding of yourself and you're trying to put this image out of yourself that you think you're supposed to be, people know.
Yeah.
Right. So the hardest,
you're so crazy trying to keep up with that image.
Exactly.
It's never gonna be consistent.
Exactly, because a lot of people they'll put out, and sometimes, don't get me wrong, sometimes it works. Sometimes you can put out an image and it catches, but then if it's not truly you, then the minute you grow out of that, or like you see a lot of guys who like had like 1 hit, 2 hits in the music industry when they were this guy, and you grow up a little bit older, and then it's like, well, they still expect me to be this guy. You try to put out music that's more you now, and people don't fuck with it because they never really felt a true connection. They want you to be that guy, right? But now you're this guy, so it never really was you to begin with. You know what I'm saying?
Right. Yeah, definitely.
That's why another reason I interview. We try to interview people that own businesses because we feel like if people know who you are, they gonna fuck with you more. You feel me? They gonna support you more. They gonna feel that connection to you. So we try to interview people so people can, this is such and such from this and the third. Yeah, they do this and that person. Like, you feel me?
Yeah.
Real shit.
If you know who you are, people will know who you are.
Exactly.
And that's one of the biggest things I've been learning growing up and becoming a man. Because, like, dude, the difference between, like, there really is no clear-cut time when you just become an adult.
Right.
It doesn't just happen.
Yeah.
You don't just wake up and we're like, I'm 25, I'm an adult now. It's like one day, this slow progression of time where you're like, oh shit, that person just called me sir, and like that person didn't carve me, and like in the eyes of everyone else, I'm this grown man, but in my eyes, I'm the same dude I was in high school, middle school. Like I've always just been this goofy ass dude, you know? And then at a certain point, you're like, oh shit, this is legit who I am.
Right.
Yeah.
Like fucking crazy.
It's crazy.
All of a sudden.
It's crazy because when I turned 18, my mother, she said she expected me to be an adult. Like she looked at me, thought I was just a whole grown man. I had to tell her, like, man, you feel me? I still got a lot to learn. You feel me? I just turned 18. You ain't really an adult. You feel me?
And I feel like honestly, a lot of the way the system is geared right now, it's kind of geared towards like, now it's like you get a high school diploma, it's like doesn't even fucking matter anymore.
Exactly.
Now you got to go to college, and now like the college degree is a new high school diploma. It's like you got to have a college degree just to keep your head above water in terms of the job market. So it's like it almost forces you to be in this extended period of like being a kid. Like it used to be like when our grandparents were coming up, dude, you were 16, 17, 18, like you were a fucking man, dude. Like maybe if you were like one of the smartest dudes in your fucking class, you'd go to college. Back in the day, going to college used to be like playing sports in college. Like the kids who were really good at football went to college football. The kids who were really smart went to college for academics. It wasn't no fucking everybody goes to college. Wasn't that shit. Like people that weren't smart enough to be the top 10 in their class fucking got a job in the trades or fucking doing shit, and they make good money.
And they be good. When you go to college, you trying to chase at this education just to make good money, but you be fucking yourself over because now you're in debt. So now you trying to pay all that debt back. You feel me?
And the colleges are all for it because they're like, well, fuck, now we got an entire generation of kids who thinks they have to come here to do this shit, so we're going to rake that shit, and we're not going to tell them any different. We're not going to tell them, like, oh, you're going to get this degree, and you're going to jump back in the job market and be in the same exact fucking place. Pretty much. I mean, no shade to college, because like, I guess the main thing is too many people go into it thinking that simply following the motions or going through the motions is going to be enough to set them apart. Like, oh, I'm going to go through the motions, get my degree, and that's going to set me apart. But it's like, no, everybody's going through the motions. If your only claim to a job or to a business or anything like that is I did this and I got this degree, it's like, yeah, so did all these other people. You know what I'm saying? So it's like you gotta have a clear cut, in the same way that you guys are doing the chase a plate thing and having like a clear cut kind of idea of where you want to be in a couple of years. That's the same way people should go about everything.
Exactly. You gotta float your own boat. Don't go to college just thinking, oh, I gotta go to college because everybody that go to college is in there. Float your whatever you feel comfortable with. That's what you go with. I had to break out that myself. I ain't gonna lie. You
float your own boat.
Yeah, it's like the idea, like you supposed to go to school. Like who says that you supposed to? Like I didn't wake up and say, I'm supposed to be in this motherfucker 7:45 a.m. 5 days out the week. I didn't say that.
Yeah.
So it's like, it's just this idea of what you supposed to do. In my eyes, you supposed to do what you want to do. Fuck going to school. Like, that's why I honestly think it might be a good thing to drop out age 16. It might should be before then, because I think you should really know what you want.
I want to convince you to drop out. I did not bring you guys on here to be like, yo, kids, trust me, drop out of college,
don't
get
drop
yourself
out
a
of school.
garage.
Go ahead, finish high school. Do your
Definitely
thing.
stay in
Float
school.
your own boat. But I ain't going. I
Float your
can't tell
boat.
you shit I learned. I can't tell you shit I learned.
While I
from
hate a
seeing-
job, bro, it's hard to chase a dream without working some type of job. Like, you
Yeah,
need
definitely.
some kind of
It
income.
come- yeah, do your thing, but you feel me? Like
Just don't get caught up in it.
just
The main
don't-
thing is you got to surround yourself with like-minded people.
Yeah.
Because it's easy to compare yourself to those around you. And if you're like working some fucking bartending job or whatever, and you're just surrounded by a bunch of other dudes who are just drinking every night or whatever,
Right.
like that just becomes the norm. And so you don't even think any way of it, you know? And if you're surrounded by, like, you have to surround yourself with people that are doing shit better than you.
Exactly.
And you have to follow that example, because you basically, if you're the best person in your friend group,
Yeah.
you're in the wrong fucking friend group.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Because you have to have people in your life that push you to be better.
Definitely.
You know what I'm saying?
Definitely, and that's what our group full of. You feel me? Like
Yeah.
everybody push each other in a different way. We pick up on each other weaknesses and stuff like that.
Yeah. And most importantly, you guys are bringing in people from the outside
Exactly.
that are coming in and giving you a piece of what they're doing.
Exactly.
And that's pushing you too. So you're, in a sense, creating your own network.
Right.
Which
It's like,
is
in the chaser play system, everybody wins. No one man is benefiting more than the other. It's really up to the people, the viewers, as if they fuck with you or not. Because, like, all we can do is help put you out there, just like all we can do is put ourselves out there.
Exactly.
And it's
Hell yeah.
all about if the viewers being receptive to us or not.
dope, dude. Yo, I really fuck with you guys' vibe, dude. I really fuck with everything you guys are doing. We've been going about an hour, dude.
Wow.
You guys,
Man.
yeah, man. We just
Cool.
been fucking
Don't even
coasting,
feel like
man.
it,
We're
man.
fucking
Like,
coasting, man.
man.
Yeah, man. Fucking for real. That was sick. Do you guys, I mean, like, where can people, like, chase a plate? How do you spell that? Because, like, I know there's some underscores involved and some
Yeah.
shit. Well, how do people find you on
So-
social media?
On Instagram is Chase. Y'all know I spelled Chase _A_ plate.
Yeah. Instead of spaces, use underscores.
Underscore.
Chase _
Every-
A _
Yeah.
plate.
That is pretty simple. It's hard to
Yeah.
not find us.
Yeah.
On Facebook, just put in Chase a plate.
If you got a fucking
see the
shift
logo.
key on your keyboard, you
Yeah.
can fucking type in Chase a plate, dude. You can fucking nail that shit,
Hell
dude.
yeah.
Right.
And then
So-
what are you guys' personal Instagrams?
My personal Instagram is _J0SEYY. That's another one of my nicknames is Josie. You feel me? So
J0SEYY.
yeah, underscore in the beginning before
yeah.
J.
You can find me at C.A.P. Jizzle.
Hell yeah,
Simple.
dude.
Jizzle.
I hope you guys got your punctuation hand strong, dude.
Yeah.
Fucking dude, doing some serious typography. Finding these motherfuckers on social media, dude. That's
Yeah,
fucking
and then
sick.
when do you think your game show is popping off?
Sheesh. I mean, definitely this year, definitely in the first
Yeah.
half of this year. Trying to get in the first quarter of this year. Hopefully we get
Yeah.
something up by March. We definitely gonna have y'all on there.
Yeah.
Dude, I would love. Is it
Definitely.
like trivia shit?
I mean,
Yeah.
it's gonna be a
'Cause I'm
bunch
pretty
of
nice
stuff.
with it.
It's gonna be like stuff revolving around like Baltimore culture, Baltimore
Definitely.
slang.
Alright,
It's a bunch
alright.
of stuff.
Definitely.
Yeah.
You just gotta follow the page, kids. Stay in
Hell yeah,
tune.
dude.
Gotta stay chimed
Hell
in.
yeah, dude. I hope you do invite us for that, man. I've never been on a game show. I've also never really been on anybody else's podcast, except for the ones that were recorded here. I produce a lot of other people's podcasts. They rent out the studio and shit like that.
Okay.
And sometimes they'll have me as a guest on their show. I'm like, this doesn't really count.
Right.
Still the same exact
If I
seat.
unlock the door to my own podcast, it's my podcast. Fuck it. It's a whole different fucking story, dude.
Y'all gotta be the first guest there. Y'all gotta be.
Oh shit, man.
Yeah.
This pen.
Pen.
Yeah, dude,
Fucking
you were-
R.I.P. this
you
pen.
were smashing that fucking
Dude, I'm
Damn it,
sorry,
Jimmy.
bro. I'm fucking.
I wanted, to say, I wanted to say something, but I was like laughing. That's why I'm laughing.
Yeah, I was going ham on this pen, dude. Guys, let's see. Plugs. What do I have?
I got you. So in March 16th, St. Patrick's Day, I'm gonna be in New Orleans, and I'm on a show there called Hags and Butts or something.
Sounds fun.
And yeah, come on out. I'm doing 10 minutes. That should be fun.
Just come on down to New Orleans.
Liz is on that show.
Eric's
too.
doing 10 minutes.
Yeah. Any
While
New
you're at
Orleans
down there.
listeners,
Don't be late.
don't be fucking late. It's St. Patrick's Day. Be careful. I don't have any other shows. That's the only thing that I'm like, booked for in the future.
Hell yeah, dude. Let's see what I got going on. Guys, as always, every Sunday night at the Horse You Came In on in Fells Point, 10 to close. That includes St. Patty's Day. I will be there with a undisclosed drummer. We'll be rocking out on St. Patty's Day. I'll be wearing green. Don't worry about it. This Friday, a.k.a. tomorrow, a.k.a. today, technically, I'll be at the Point Towson with the band. That's 9 to 1. Valentine's Day, ladies, I'll be at Mahaffey's Pub in Canton. I've never been there. You never been there. So let's all go there. Let's fucking go there together, baby. I'll be there 8 to midnight. And
Don't bring a date.
don't bring a date, dude, because I'm not. Let's see. Other than that, yeah, St. Patty's Day weekend as well. I'll be at Fells Point Tavern on March 15th. That's a Friday, 10 to close. And on March 16th, outside on Thames Street in the fucking pavilion. I hope it is warm, because that's questionable on March 16th. I'll be at the Point in Fells playing there with Dan the Animal, a.k.a. the Animal, dude. He's fucking sick. He plays bongos and shit. It's fucking gnarly. But, yeah.
LFTS podcast across the board. Check us out. We're on iTunes. Shout out the Czech Republicans out there. Fucking get us to the top 50 guys.
Hey, baby,
That would be
check
fucking
yourself before
insane.
you riggedy wreck yourself.
Yeah, I
dude.
like
Thank
that.
you.
I like that.
Hell
Might
yeah,
hear me
dude.
saying it.
But shit,
So,
man.
hey, till next week. Peace.
Peace.